This sounds like presidential talk to me. Would you ever?
Probably not, but I do get tired of seeing what's happening with this country, and if it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally. Something's going to happen over the next number of years with this country, because you can't keep going on losing $200 billion. If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it, Oprah. It's almost impossible.
If you want to sell to China, the Chinese insist that you open a factory there. They take your technology and then say to you, now we want to see your plan for export. The average tariff on Chinese goods coming into the United States is 2%. The average Chinese tariff on U.S. goods going into China is 35%. Fact is that U.S.-China trade is a job loser.
That was Trump in '88, and that was Pelosi in the '90s. Two different sides saying the same exact thing. If we don't fix this China situation, we're cooked. And for 30 years, nothing changed. Until just recently here on April the 2nd, when Donald Trump snapped his fingers like Thanos and slapped tariffs on the whole planet. Like, have you seen your 401k lately? The market's crashing, the dollar's crashing, and everybody looking at Trump like, yo, it's obvious this man don't know what he's doing. And this is where it gets deep. Because what if he did know what he was doing? What if this was a page straight out of a playbook? Not just any playbook, a 40-year-old playbook. Brandon, what are you talking about? So boom, it's April Fool's Day, and Trump's team is like, sir, with all due respect, this is asinine. It's crazy. You really about to slap tariffs on the whole world? Trump goes, you ever read my book? They like, what book? He goes, it don't even matter. Because clearly y'all didn't. He's like, let me ask you something. What does China need from us? They're like, money, oil, gas. Trump goes, access. China needs to sell in America. We're the biggest, baddest market on earth. So guess what? If they want to sell here, they got to pay. That's called leverage. And that's page 52. Somebody goes, but Mr. President, time out. Why hit everyone? Isn't China the main problem? Trump goes, look, the element of surprise is a very, very powerful thing in negotiation. If I just hit China, they play the victim. So I hit everybody. Nobody knows what's going on. The market's panic. Not are all calling me. This is going to be the biggest power shifts maybe ever. And that's on page 58. Another advisor's like, but what if it blows back? People might turn on you. Aren't you scared of that? Trump's like, always know the worst case scenario. If you protect the downside, the upside takes care of itself. Worst case, we get some headlines and people complain. But hey, they were going to do that anyway. Best case, we win and America's great again. And that's on page 71. One of the guys goes, sir, are you sure about this? Trump's like,
bitch, you think it's small. We need to be thinking big.
Page 92. And now everybody's sitting there like, yo, he really about to do this. Then Trump hits him with, you know the wildest part? They'll never see it coming. Because if you want to keep a secret, the best place to hide it is in a book. And I wrote mine in 1987. Now look, I know some folks gonna hear this and be like, you sound like a Trump supporter. Nah, I sound like somebody who's sick of blaming everybody but themselves for their problems. It's not your fault things are the way they are, but it is your responsibility to fix it. We all gotta play the hand that we was dealt, because it ain't about red, blue, it's always been about green. 34 trillion in debt, and who does that hurt? Not billionaires. It hurts anybody under 40 with no assets, no stocks, no land, especially the young black man. It hurts the single mom with a job and no safety net. The 22-year-old who just got out of college and got a bunch of debt. The 60-year-old trying to retire with no savings. So yeah, pointing fingers, scrolling, and complaining while everybody else is out here studying the playbook, trying to go out here and get it, you a liability to your own self. Because this might not be a collapse. It could be an opportunity, but only if you see it that way. And so if you still think this is chaos, then obviously you ain't been paying attention. Because if you want to keep a secret, the best place to hide it is in a book. You might want to open one.